The Doomsday Heist. How much money will you need? That's the question we're going to be talking about in this video. Now, obviously, this is speculation. The DLC doesn't come out for another 3 days, so I can't tell you 100%, but we can, as always, base our answers off of what Rockstar have done in the past and how they price other vehicles that are similar. Before the Smuggler's Run DLC came out, I made a video on the same topic, how much money you will need, and I said it would be around 50 million, and I wasn't too far off. It was like 63 million, I believe, you needed for every single vehicle. So I would say these guesses give you somewhat of an idea of how much you're going to need for everything. Now, speaking of the Smuggler's Run DLC, like I said, it was about 60 something million dollars without the trade prices, so that number does go down a little bit if you did the trade prices. And then the DLC before it, Gun Running, was about 30 million dollars before the trade prices, so they've actually gone up in how much these DLCs cost. Now, something I actually just found out about, because I don't really look at the heist vehicles, the old heist vehicles, too often, but what they did with the old heist vehicles, like the Hydra, I think the Savage, a bunch of other vehicles like that, they added the trade prices to them. So basically, when you go and buy one of the heist vehicles, it gives you two prices. It gives you the regular price, which is actually a little bit more than what it normally costs, and then the trade price. And in order to unlock that trade price, you have to play the heists and do the missions. And I think that's what's going to end up happening with these vehicles in the Doomsday Heist. They're going to have the same thing. So you can buy them right off the bat for about $1 million or $2 million more, or you can play the heist, play the missions, and get them for cheaper. So just know that that'll probably be what happens, and if you want to save some money, definitely play through the heist first. With that being said, let's hop in to the vehicles. First one we saw was the Osprey. Now this one, I'm going to go ahead and say it's going to cost around $4.3 million. The Tula, being one of the only other VTOL capable planes, is around that price tag, and I don't think they're going to make this DLC cost as much. I think they're going to scale it back down a little bit, just because there comes a point, you know, they can make these things amazing, but if the price is just too high, I don't think many people are going to want to buy them. Like, the Osprey is cool and everything, but if it's not a reasonable price, why are people going to go out and get it if they can just spend their money on a DeLorean or a jetpack? So I think Rockstar know that, and that's why I'm thinking that a lot of this stuff is going to be a little bit lower than the Smuggler's Run, so that's why my guess for the Osprey is 4.3. Next up, we have the Missile Truck. This one I think is going to be on the low end, at least compared to everything else. This one I think is going to end up costing like 1.9, and these prices are what I think they're going to cost without the trade price, so maybe they might be a little bit less, but 1.9, about $2 million for that missile defense car. I think that just makes sense, especially with all of the new and different sort of aircraft that's in the game. They can market it saying, look, this is your way to stop them all. So I could see them making that truck about $2 million. Then we have the Armored Police Truck, and this is the one I don't know if they're going to end up putting into online, because it's a police vehicle. Unless they decide all of a sudden to let us own police vehicles, this one may be a heist exclusive. But if it's not, I think it's going to end up costing around $3.2 million. It looks like a pretty armored vehicle. It's got the scoop to push things out the way, which obviously adds on to the price, and it even had what looked to be a gun on the top. So you're getting a lot actually for that price tag, and I think it does, at least it looked like it would hold a decent amount of people. Next one is that new jet. This one's probably going to be around $5 million, I would say, like $4 to $5 million, just because it looks like it's a really fast jet. It's got some really great firepower. I mean, it's got the new bombs, it's got the cannon on the top, the cannon on the bottom. It almost looks like a mini Bombushka, and we all know the Bombushka was $6 million, so I think this one's going to be about $1 million or $2 million less than that. Then we have the DeLorean. This one, in my opinion, is the most expensive vehicle of this update. I think it's going to cost $6 million, just because it's the DeLorean and it can fly. They know how we as the community love those flying cars, like with the Oppressor, so I think they're going to cash in on that. They're going to make this one the most expensive, and I think people are going to spend that money. I mean, I know I will. $6 million for a DeLorean. Is it the greatest purchase? No, but I want the deluxe, so I want to be able to fly, and then the fact that it has rockets on it, that's just even better. Now, the cheapest vehicle, the 4x4, the trophy truck looking vehicle, I think this one's going to be like $1.3 million. I don't see this one being that very good, and I don't see this one really getting or catching people's interests, especially with everything else that's in the game. I think this one is going to end up being that inexpensive vehicle for people who don't have a lot of money but still want to enjoy some of the new stuff. Next one is the Akula Heli, the stealth looking helicopter. I think we can sort of just guess based on the Hunter's price what this one's going to be. I think the trade-in or the buy it now price will be like a 3.8 million, with the trade-in price being around like 2.9 to keep it competitive with that Hunter. But considering it can hold 4 people, hopefully it has that stealth capability, and it's got the 2 guns on it. I mean, it's a pretty good looking helicopter, and I think it'll be a pretty good performing helicopter compared to the Hunter. So that $3 million price tag, I think, is reasonable. Then we have the submersible car. This one, I said it's going to be 2.3 million. I don't think they could charge as much as the DeLorean, just because the DeLorean can fly. With a submersible car, you know, it's cool, but what sort of situations do you ever find yourself wanting a submersible car with rockets? You know, unless all of a sudden everyone's going to be driving these submersible cars in the ocean, there's nothing to really do out there. Like, if they added animals, that would be kind of cool and kind of funny if you could use the rockets against like a shark or something, but that's not in the game. So I don't think this one can cost as much, and that's why I said it's going to be like $2.3-ish million. Then we have the Mark II tank, which is actually the TM02 Kunjali. Because if you look at this picture, it's actually written on the back of the tank. So shout out to whoever found that. But this one, I think this is going to be another super expensive vehicle. It's going to be $5 million. That's what I'm guessing, just because it's a new tank. You know, people have been wanting a Mark II tank for the longest. And of course, Rockstar are going to cash in on that. And then that leads us to the jetpack. Here's the thing with the jetpack. Yeah, everyone's been wanting it, but if you think about it, like, what does a jetpack bring to the table? Because we can already fly with the oppressor. You know, you can already fly with the DeLorean, or we're going to be able to fly with the DeLorean. We have the rockets on both those vehicles, and I'm sure you'll be easily killed by an explosive sniper or by a Hydra, you know, pilot if they have the explosive cannon. So as cool as the jetpack will be, and as cool as it'll be to fly around, I don't actually see it end up being that much money. I think it's going to be around $3 million, with the trade-in price around $1 million. Unless there's some like secret feature about it that I don't know about, I can't see it costing that much money. And then the final one, we have that secret plane that was in that Lester screenshot. I know people have been saying this is the Osprey, but I don't actually think it is. If you take a look at the Osprey, the front of it at least, it looks a little bit longer on the Osprey. So I don't know. I'm not really entirely sure what this is. Maybe this is that MOC plane that we've seen in the trailer for like for 2 seconds. And if that's the case, I think it's going to end up costing like $4 million. If not, then it'll probably cost like $1.5 million or something. But those are all the vehicles, at least the ones that we saw. We all know there's going to be drip feeding, which will probably, you know, add on to all this. So total, that's about $40 million for just the ones we saw. But like I said, that drip feeding stuff, that'll probably add another $10 to $15 million on, just depending on what sort of vehicles they add with it. So you're looking at around $50 million for all the vehicles, which compared to the Smuggler's Run, you know, is a little bit cheaper, but it does make sense with what we're getting. Now, talking about the new properties, it depends really on what we get. I know people have been saying we might get the submarine, and if that's the case, I think the submarine is going to be like the yacht in that it costs around $7 to $10 million, depending on what you customize in it. If not, if we get actual new mansions, which I'll talk about in a later video today, I think those could probably cost around $15 million total if you add all of them up. Whatever the case may be, we know there's going to be new properties that will probably end up costing a decent amount of money, just considering everything that we've seen in that trailer. Now, the final stuff, the new weapons, these aren't going to be anything too much. I think total, I mean, we've seen like the Mark II shotgun, the Mark II revolver, the Mark II rifle, the Mark II auto sniper. That'll total probably equal $1 to $1.5 million, you know, and then obviously all of the upgrades for it. So maybe you're pushing $2 million with all of those. And then the new clothes will probably be over $1 million, you know, if you buy everything. So adding this all up, you get around $60 to $70 million, including like the new properties and the new guns and the new clothes. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to need that amount of money for everything, because, yeah, you're not going to buy every vehicle. You're not going to buy every property. You're not going to buy every weapon. You're only going to buy 1 or 2. You know, you may only buy the DeLorean and the jetpack. and you'll save for some other stuff. Because you got to remember, Rockstar always, you know, a few weeks later put this stuff on sale, so you will find discounts. But it does look like this DLC is going to end up costing around the same amount as the Smuggler's Run. Although I will say, at least this stuff does seem worth it. With the Smuggler's Run, it was a lot of planes that just didn't seem that good. Really, the Hunter was one of the few that were actually worth the money. So at least with this DLC, the Doomsday Heist, most of this stuff looks like it's going to be worth the money. But there you guys have it. Like I said, that's my speculation. Between 60 to 70 million. It's going to be an expensive update. Just know that. I'm doing 2 shark card giveaways over on my Twitter, maybe even 3, and I'll probably be doing an $8 million shark card giveaway once the DLC does come out. So go in the description, go follow me on Twitter so you don't miss that. You can get some extra money, you know, if you were lucky enough to win. But that is it with the video. I know I've been getting this question a lot, so hopefully this does answer that for those people. But anyway, thank you all for watching. Please drop the video a like if you did enjoy, subscribe for more awesome GTA content, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.